Hi guys, how many of you feel like despite having a good salary and even when you are making a smart investment, you are still walking in the same circle for years after years and sometimes even decades? You are getting good hikes from your company, you are getting Diwali bonuses, and sometimes even you are getting good money from your overtimes. But still, you feel like your bank balance is nowhere there where you planned it should be. You're responsible, you're hardworking, you're very careful about each and every details of life. But still, you feel like you're financially stuck. Let me tell you something very, very important. Many of us corporate professionals, we are all going through the same frustration. You can say it a guilt also for not saving enough and also maintaining the so-called lifestyle which we want to maintain. I still remember when I was in the early time of my career, when I got a big promotion or let's say a bonus, I straight went to the Royal Enfield showroom. I put a down payment for my bike with the money which I got. I felt like I was tremendously rich, and the core feeling in my heart was like I actually made it. But unfortunately, I learned my lesson in a hard way. And the lesson is wealth is not about how much you can buy, but it is all about how much you can own. So today, we are going to expose the biggest misconception about money, which is constantly keeping us poor. So let's grab some tea or coffee and break it down into some meaningful steps. The first thing I want you to understand that it is actually not our fault. It is the fault of the society, the culture which we live in, where we have been shown that from the childhood that success means that celebrities are moving into fancy sports car, they are going for the world tour in their yachts, they are sipping champagne, they are throwing big parties, all this kind of thing. So we also thought from the childhood, like seeing all this thing, like this is what maybe the true wealth looks like. So if we have to feel rich, we also have to own the same possessions. But this is not how it works. In reality, my friend, most of them are drowning in debt, or some of them are being backed up by big companies where they play as a brand ambassador or promoting their stuffs. Now just think about it. How often you ordered something online because someone else was flaunting about it, or you ordered some food from an online delivery app because you saw some food influencer was promoting it in an Instagram reel. So it's not about us mediocre people. Even Anil Ambani, who was one of the richest person in the world, also got into financial ruin because of poor decision. On the other hand, if you talk about Mike Tyson, who owned 400 million in his boxing career, was in financial debt because of uncontrollable spendings. You will also see that our Bollywood actor Govinda was also into the financial disaster because of unsustainable lifestyle, poor investments. So we understand one thing from all these examples, that looking rich and being rich are two completely different things. Don't you think we have already fallen for this same trap for years? You will see that every year we are updating our iPhone or Samsung high-end phones. Sometimes we are even financing luxury cars just because our manager drives one. And sometimes we are even going for expensive vacation so we can post picture into the social media to flaunt it and to look cool. But here is the real question. Do you really think we really can afford all this thing? The first thing I feel which I should talk about is the lifestyle slavery, this cycle is keeping us stuck forever. Number one, higher income equals to higher expenses. You will always see that whenever we are getting promoted, our salary is increasing, our expenses are also increasing at the same time. So whenever this kind of thing happens to us, psychologically, we justify this with two things. We say to ourselves that I deserved it and I worked for it. Of course, which is true. But do you really realize the extra money which we are getting after every salary increment that we should be using to secure our future, but we are just wasting that money for materialistic expenses. Many of us have seen professionals, basically higher income professionals who are earning more than 3 lakhs per month. They are upgrading their houses, their vehicles, they're getting luxury cars, or they're going for expensive vacations. I also know a doctor who earns more than 10 lakhs per month and he barely having any savings. You know why? Because he is having multiple vehicle loans going on at the same time. The reason is he is having a hobby to collect expensive luxury cars and expensive motorbikes. Number 2, EMIs and debt chains. Credit cards, instant approval personal loans, zero cost EMIs are the main problem which keeps us broke for a long period of time. You know what they do to us? They make us believe that we can afford anything. But in reality, this thing actually keeps us in never-ending paying cycle to the bank. Remember one thing, when you buy something on loan or EMI, you may own the stuff, but you're also getting a financial commitment to pay back to the bank for next 2 to 5 years or sometime even more. We also can take example of the famous old footballer Ronaldinho, who basically went bankrupt because of uncontrollable, unrealistic spending habits. Number 3, no real wealth building. If all of our money is going to maintain our costly lifestyle, then unfortunately we won't be having any money left for savings and investments. We see on social media that people are proudly flaunting about their new cars, but ask them about their investment. Usually they won't be having any answer. There is a very famous example of Henry Sukarno, if I can remember his name properly. He bought a 20 million worth of mansion and he had to work really long hours to pay back the home EMI or home loan payments. So he hardly had any time left to spend with his family or with his kids. So basically his costly and his dream home became his own financial trap. Number 4, job dependence equals to no freedom. Most of us are earning from paycheck to paycheck, so we can barely take, or let's say we cannot afford any risk, or we can't even step back from the work when it's urgent or let's say it's needed. It can be a joint venture, it can be owning a small business or anything. Unfortunately, we are not earning money to reach financial freedom, but rather we are earning money just to keep up with our financial burdens. Just take an example of Amitabh Bachchan in the late 90s. As you know, he was in huge financial debt, but he took charges of his finances. He reinvented himself and he had an incredible comeback. But trust me on this, there are thousands of professionals in India who are earning really well and they're really hard working. But their financial future is like they're working so hard, they're so consistent, they're well paid, but they're constantly running on a treadmill, which is actually not helping them to reach somewhere near to the financial freedom. Number 5, spending based on social validation. Many of our purchases are based on social comparison. I can guarantee you on this, maybe subconscious, many of us buy something just not because we need it, but we buy something just to keep up with others. Example, you will see many people are going for destination wedding nowadays into beautiful locations. It's all fine, but the root cost for most of the Indian families to go for destination wedding is just to show off in front of their relatives. Many people are even financing luxury cars just to show up in the family function. So this kind of habits, or let's say mindset, is the root cause which is constantly keeping us stuck into this never-ending cycle of lifestyle slavery. Now, from the starting of this video, I have been confidently claiming that real wealth is not about financial possessions like fancy cars, sipping champagnes or big parties, etc. Then you all must be wondering, then Arijit, what does real wealth means? Real wealth is something which actually matters to us. Remember what I said? It matters to us. Number 1, relationship. Studies shows that the happiest people in the world are not the people who are the most richest, but the kind of people who have strong emotional support system. Basically, when the basic needs are met, then people actually look for the kind of quality relationship which they have with their friends, family, and of course, community. As an example, in Japan, people usually live longer. Did you ever question why? Because in Japan, people are not the kind of the richest in the world, but they value the importance of community, where they actually find a sense of purpose. You will see that many of us often neglect friends and family in the pursuit of success. But what happens usually for most of the people when they reach at the top of the success, they usually find themselves lonely, and they understand the most important currency in this world is a time well spent with their loved ones. Recently I was talking with one of my colleagues and he was very sad and depressed, and he said he missed his daughter's first school play because of a project deadline. He was saying that he was trying to provide the best kind of education for his daughter. He was trying to provide for her in the best possible way. He even arranged private tutor who taught how to play properly to her daughter. But he was very frustrated to say that maybe he's earning a lot of money, but he's constantly missing the most important moments of his life. This is why family time is non-negotiable. Don't let money steal the beautiful memories of your life. It can be anything. It can be a simple family dinner. It can be your daughter's play in the school. These are the things in life which truly matters. Number 2, health. We can have all the money in the world, but what if you are unhealthy? What is the point? Many of us trades our life to earn more money, where we later find out that we are spending the exact money to buy back our health. As an example, when Steve Jobs was dying, his net worth was over billions, but he was so happy to trade all his money to buy back health and more time in this world. In India, many of high-income earners are constantly facing chronic stress and lifestyle diseases because of unhealthy, long working hours and financial stress. My only question is, what is the point of earning over lakhs a month when your health is not supporting you to enjoy it? In my office, I have a colleague who spent a lot of money for exclusive gym membership, but hardly getting any time to go to the gym after work because he is very tired. And sometimes he is even skipping his meals, coping his hunger with fast foods. See, at the end of the day, we need to understand that real fitness is not about costly membership or exclusive gyms. It's all about this small, consistent effort, like going for a morning walk, eating homemade foods. Most importantly, actually prioritizing your sleep. You should not feel exhausted while you are playing with your kids, and you should not be worried about your stamina while going for a family trip. That is what real wealth looks like. Number 3, freedom. So if I ask you, what does freedom means to you? What are you gonna say? According to me, freedom is the ability to make any decision without any fear. The definition of financial freedom is like waking up every day and you choose how you're going to spend your entire day. Financial freedom is not about millions of money in your bank, but it is all about the ability to choose what you want to do and having a proper control over your time. Example, Warren Buffett, the most successful investor of our time, who still lives a pretty humble and decent life, and he always prioritizes quality time over luxuries. He says that he doesn't want to work, but he actually works because he loves it. Can you imagine how wonderful it is? Meanwhile, on the other hand, many highly paid working professionals in India who guaranteed dislikes their job, but still they go to the job, they work hard for long hours just to bear their expenses and also to maintain this costly lifestyle. Freedom is all about when you don't have to check your bank balance before you make any decision, but it is when your investment generates enough passive income where working hard or even working becomes a matter of choice but not a necessity. Only then you have the freedom to buy something or anything you want without worrying about your credit card limit. Freedom is all about taking a guilt-free vacation. Freedom is all about spending time with your loved ones with their most favorite place without worrying about the bills or the constant pressure of EMIs. Now let me ask you one simple question, okay? So which of this condition I'm going to explain you looks like true wealth to you? In one hand, you have a 2 crore worth of Lamborghini, and in the other hand, you have a 2 crore worth of investment portfolio which is constantly giving a passive income every month. Instead of upgrading your gadgets or let's say your smartphone every year, instead of upgrading your car every 5 years, you can use the same money to buy back your time, to buy back your peace of mind, and most importantly, you can secure the future of your family. This is what true wealth looks like to me. See guys, I am not here in the YouTube to preach about my expertise over finances. I am also same like you, a self-learner and constantly learning. But some changes which I am implementing in my life, which is giving me very good return, I thought to share my experiences and my journey with you, where we all will grow together. My main motive here in the YouTube that we all should break out, or let's say break free from this fake illusion of wealth and build something in life which is truly meaningful and which matters to us. Share your opinion, your own stories, or if you have any suggestion in the comment box. Hit like and please subscribe. Please help me to build a community of people who are like-minded and who are serious about their finances. And if you agree and you find value in this video, please don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Arijit here from Bangalore signing out. See you on the next video.